Let me be honest with you. You will hurt your voice when you try to metal scream. You're gonna feel pain. You might even lose your voice a few times. And yeah, you're gonna worry at night if you've hurt your singing voice. But here's the thing, I'm gonna show you why that fear is okay. I'm also gonna show you why sometimes you actually need to go towards feelings of physical discomfort and pain in order to get better. And I know that sounds crazy, but stay with me. Learning takes practice. So first off, I want you to think about learning to walk on a tightrope. Imagine I taught you everything about balance, where to put your feet, and how to stay steady. Now, do you think you could step onto the rope and walk across it perfectly on your first try? Of course not. That would be silly. You'd fall, probably 100 times. And you wouldn't feel bad about it because that's just how you learn. Screaming's the same way. Even if you knew every piece of the right information, even if you somehow knew the perfect way to do it, you still wouldn't get it right the first time and you'd feel discomfort here and there. And you know what? That's totally normal. So here's the bad news. Yes, you're gonna hurt your voice when you try to metal scream. But here's the good news. That shouldn't stop you. So most people don't understand that there are different levels of hurting your voice. And in all my years of screaming, I've felt it all. My throats felt dry, tickly, scratchy. I wanted to cough. I felt burning sensations, got lots of phlegm in my throat. I've been paranoid about whether or not my singing range has been reduced. And even now, as I continue to push the boundaries of my voice and try to explore new sounds, I still feel those things sometimes.
But after all that, I went to the ENT who looked at my throat and there was 0 damage. So here's what you need to know.
While you'll probably feel those uncomfortable feelings I just talked about, the chance of actually hurting yourself so bad to the point where you need surgery or months of rest, it's actually pretty small. I know this because I've been teaching screaming full-time since 2019, and I've taught over 2,000 people how to scream. Can you guess how many of those 2,000 have had diagnosed vocal damage? Out of all those students, only 3 of them have got vocal nodules, those scary bumps that everyone's afraid of. Let that sink in, 3 out of 2,000. And what's more, those 3 people have had vocal nodes before I even started working with them.
And guess what? The damage is fixable.
Better off empty and blank than left with a single pathetic trace of this.
Why it feels scarier than it really is. So why does everyone think they're going to destroy their voice? Well, it's kind of like when people get nervous on airplanes. You hear about 1 or 2 plane crashes and suddenly flying feels dangerous, even though you're actually way more likely to get into a car accident on the way to the airport. But those scary stories stick in our minds and make the danger seem way bigger than it really is. So here's where it gets interesting. Now that you know the real risk is small, let me tell you something that might surprise you. Sometimes you actually want to go towards those scratchy, uncomfortable feelings in your throat to progress. I know, sounds weird, right? And it's not about developing scar tissue or anything like that. Let me tell you about one of my students. We'll call him Ben. Ben spent 10 years trying to learn how to scream. A whole decade. And he got to a place where he felt comfortable and wasn't in pain, which sounds great, except his screams were really quiet, they sounded airy, and they just didn't sound right. He just couldn't get any volume. When I listened to him, I heard the problem right away. He was using his breath to scream instead of his voice. And when I told him this, he said, "Oh, I've tried using my voice before, but it always hurt." So for years, Ben felt stuck between 2 bad choices. Choice A, no pain, but really quiet screams. Or choice B, loud screams, but pain and paranoia that he was gonna hurt his voice. Because he was so scared about hurting himself, he tried everything except the one thing he needed to do, use his voice. But here's what happened. With my help and support, Ben finally was brave enough to go back to that place that felt uncomfortable. And you know what? Together, we found a way to use his voice, get loud, and get distortion all without pain. He just needed to be brave enough to walk through that uncomfortable feeling to fix it on the other side. So what now? Well, there's this saying I always think about. Fear is like an ocean that's a mile wide, but only a foot deep. It looks huge and scary from the beach, and it stops you from moving forward. But once you jump in, you realize you can touch the bottom, and you realize it's okay. So if you're feeling scared right now about screaming, that's normal, but don't let it stop you. Yes, you'll feel uncomfortable, and yes, you may even lose your voice a few times. And yes, you'll have moments where you'll feel paranoid, but the chances of really hurting yourself, way smaller than you think. And getting to finally do that scream you've been dreaming about, that's worth it. If you want a structured way to figure out the screams you want to do and exactly how to do them, I've put together a training for you, which you can get for free by clicking the link in the description. And here's the best part. After you watch the training, you'll also be able to schedule a free consultation with me about your screams. If you have some questions or want some help figuring out your next steps, we can talk through it together. So click the link in the description, watch the free training, and let's get you screaming. I'll see you there.